Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel BBH Creates. My name is Brittany and today I wanted to record for you my very first ever Vlogmas video. This will be my first time ever participating with Vlogmas. I think it is a great idea and I think it is a wonderful way to challenge myself to be creative every day prior to 2024 because that's one of my 2024 New Year's resolutions. So I thought, what better way to start off Vlogmas than a plan with me video where I set up my December 2023 bullet journal spreads for you, or with you I should say. And then that way I can just go from today and get a good start to my December, plan out my month, and I'll have a go-to resource for referencing what I want to do every day up to Christmas. So to do this, I'm going to be using my second half of 2023 bullet journal, and for that I selected the Amanda Rachel Lee bullet journal. I have been bullet journaling for about a year and a half now, and because of all the stuff that I like to put in my bullet journal I found that these notebooks only hold about 6 months worth of material. So this is the second half of 2023. It goes from July through December. And I got started bullet journaling with Amanda Rachel Lee, Shada Campbell, Riley Autumn, Amber's Notebooks. Those were like my go-to inspiration, and I just loved how they set up their journals, and I thought I want to start that because if it can help me to be more productive and to accomplish more of my goals, it's so worth it. Alright, so I'm going to turn in here. I have it marked, and what I did for the sake of time, because I don't want to have like a 5-hour video could you imagine? I just went ahead and yesterday I penciled in how I wanted my spreads to look very roughly, and then this way I can just go over it and then erase it when I'm done and have it set how I like, and then that way I'm not, you know, fussing with all of the counting the blocks out and everything. But I'll talk to you about how I do that too. So the other thing that I did to prep was I took out the excess pages in this book, and you can see there's probably enough there that I could have squeezed January in this book, but I didn't want to do that. I'd rather start a whole new book with January. So to cut those out, I used this little cutting board, and then I used a craft knife. And this isn't my go-to knife because I'm filming today in my bookbindery, so this is just a craft knife. Usually when I'm doing my bookbinding projects, I will use a Stanley utility box cutting knife because I feel like I have more control. This thing, guys, I have made some really wonky cuts with it. Let me just leave it with that. It's good though. I mean, it gets the job done. So here's my pages that I cut out. And you can even see right there, wonky pages, wonky cuts. But it is what it is, right? So what I'm going to do with these is I'm either going to use them as like scrap pen testing pages, or see how I do pen test here. I usually do that in all of my bullet journals. Or I will turn it into a pocket jotter book, which if I do that, I will record a video of how I do that and I'll post it for you guys. So maybe watch for that. We'll see. Alright, so another thing that I like to do when I'm setting up a journal spread for an entire month is I use this handy little tool that I made. Excuse me. And I'm not sure where my inspiration came from this. I know that I saw another journaler using something similar, but I just created my own, you know, I mean, this is very different than what they used, but it has the same the same concepts are there. So what I did was I just took a spare sheet of my journal, when I started it, and I cut it down, I cut the corners, and then I did grid spacing for like my most common grids that I lay out. And you'll understand that a little bit more as I get into my weeklies. And then on the other half, I have it going this way if I wanted to do horizontal boxes. So this is for vertical, and then these are for the horizontal boxes. And I know you're thinking, okay, well, you have your grid spacer vertical, why are you saying horizontal? And that's because if I'm using the vertical side, it'll give me horizontal boxes. If I'm using the horizontal side, it'll give me vertical boxes. I hope that makes sense. It probably will more so when I get to my weeklies. Okay, and if you're wondering what are weeklies, what is she talking about? I have this little handy bullet journal spreads, and after a year and a half, these are the ones that I want for sure in every month. So weeklies is one, and that's basically where I plan out every week of the month. So like this is an example. I'm not sure if you can see my pencil sketch, but that's an example. And once I get it going, you'll be able to see those much better. All right, so I'll keep that out for reference, but yeah, this is what I go to. I really enjoy these the most, and I think I'm going to stick with this. I might add like 1 or 2 different types of spreads, but those are usually in the front of my book, and that's, you know, something that I don't turn to always. So let me see if I can find one real quick that I am okay with sharing. Let me see. Okay, this one's fine. So this is something that I was working on, and it is a year in pixels sheet. Obviously, I need to update November. I haven't been keeping up with that very well. But so for each block of the month, I color in the square for the temperature that it was. And what I'm going to do with this is the first half of the year is in my other bullet journal for 2023 that covers January to June. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scan this chart and the chart that's in the other one, and I am going to crochet a blanket or a scarf or something in line with these colors. So that's why I did that. And then this one here, I wanted to plan out the themes that I wanted my spreads so that I wouldn't have to, you know, try to figure something out each month. So I just went ahead and I did like a little preview of how I wanted my journal spread here for my themes. And that was really helpful. So these two, well, at least this one for sure is going to be continued in 2024. This one, I think it's just going to be a one and done. But that's what I mean about some spreads other than these ones that are for sure included every month, just being in there. And if you hear my dog snoring, I'm sorry, he's like passed out. But yeah. So we'll go ahead and get started. Aside from the pencil sketching of my ideas, I have like little reminders here and there. So this is number 401. And that is a reminder for which Tombow marker I want to use as the dominant one for my spread. And I have this little pencil holder that I believe I got from Notebook Therapy. And it's what I keep all my supplies in that I use every single day in my journal. So rather than fumble through my pencil holder, fumble through my marker case, trying to find what I want to use, I keep everything that I'm going to use in this so that whenever I want to update this journal, I just pull this out and everything I need is there. And what I did is I picked some blues that I'm going to use for this month. So I have 491. These are the Tombow water-based dual tip brush marker and pens. I have 491, 451, 493, 452, and 401, which is the one that I wanted for this spread. And then this way they are not in my full marker case, if you guys can see this. This is a wonderful little storage unit for the Tombow markers. Alright, so these ones here off to the side, they're the ones that I used in November. I already pulled them out. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them, but I wanted to have them available if I do. Alright, so let's get in here. And while I'm doing this, I'm probably going to be chatting about things I might be doing on my YouTube channel in 2024. So you'll get a little sneak peek there. I'll probably give a couple hints for other videos that's going to be part of my Vlogmas series. And then I'll probably just chat to you about like where things are in my bindery, like how that whole process is going. And hopefully I can do that while I'm drawing. Talk and draw. We'll see. Alright, so this is my opening spread. I found this wonderful little quote on Pinterest and I thought that it was great, so I'm going to put that in there, and I'll probably jump back and forth between the sides. But yeah, let's get started. So to get started, I'm going to use a Fudanesque pen, Fudensuko. I've heard it pronounced multiple ways, but I say Fudanesque. Tombow brush pen, and this is a hard tipped black. And I'm just going to go in and I'm going to put in December, which is already centered. I centered it with this grid spacing guide. So there's my center line. And then I checked for the halfway mark. So there's my halfway center line there. I don't have that on every page, but on this one it's there. And usually I don't do the pencil startup, so this is an experience for me. I usually just go right in there with my pens, and that's how I am with my sketching too, guys. When I'm using pens, I don't usually sketch before. I just go in with my pens, so that's why it looks messy. Now to do my block calendar, I'm going to do a Pigma Micron 1 Sakura Archival ink pen. And that's just so I can get a finer line when I am doing this. This is very messy, so I'm definitely going to try to clean it up. And you'll see that there. So I just follow the dot grid to clean it up because my pencil lines are all over the place. So some things that you can look forward to on my YouTube channel in 2024 are, of course, more bookmaking. And I'm going to turn the comments on for this video. So in case you would like to make suggestions about art supplies that you would like to see me try out and test in 2024, definitely leave those down in the comments. Also, if you want to suggest anything about stuff you'd like to see me try to make as far as like paper arts goes, you can do that. Yeah, I'm going to be taking in beginners art class next year at a local college, and I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't taken art class since I was in high school, and that's let's just say over a couple decades ago. I don't know, am I online here? Yeah, I am. Okay. So this is really confusing with the pencil lines. I'm like, ooh, am I on the right line? But yeah, I am. And then, what else? I'm also going to be taking a Photoshop class, which I'm super excited about. I've been wanting to do that for years. I'm hoping that we do some video editing in there, because right now my videos are raw. They're not edited on my YouTube channel. And I think that if I had some video editing skills, that would definitely take some pressure off for when I'm recording. But I don't know. I kind of like doing it in real time too. We'll see. We'll see if that changes anything. what else? So I think for Vlogmas, I have more than 24 ideas. I'm only going to do it till Christmas Eve. And I think I can share a couple of those. So you already know that tomorrow might be a part 2 of this video. And that is because I'm going to use some watercolors in the decoration of this spread. And I want to make sure that they have enough time to dry. So when I get to that part, I might stop recording and then pick up with it again tomorrow. I do have some baking that I'm going to be doing in my Vlogmas. I'm going to be sharing a little history tidbit about the state where I live and something that I'm going to be baking. That's probably not going to be hard for some of you to guess, especially if you're one of my pen pals writing, or that I write to watching, because I usually do that around Christmas time with you guys too. Send that recipe to you. And then probably do some painting. And I think I'm going to take you guys on a drive-through light show, Christmas light show. We'll see. And then I definitely have some paper crafts planned. Let's see. Do I want this to be blue? I think I'm going to do it black just because I'm going to do blue snowflakes all over. Right, and I'm sorry I'm sniffling, guys. It's rainy today and my allergies are just going crazy. So, let me say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. If you know, you know. It is a folklore tradition to start each first day of a new month by saying rabbit, rabbit, or rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. And that is kind of like a superstition that will provide protection and good luck for the month. And I do include that in my bullet journal, so you'll see that here in a little bit. I'm not doing any fancy lettering because I kind of like my cursive writing. So I thought I would just do it in my own hand. Sometimes I will do, or I'll try, some lettering. I do have that further in. I'll show you guys where I attempted some shadowed lettering. And then I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving holiday, if you celebrate. We, my husband and I, had the same week off. It was amazing. I don't think in all my time attending college did we have the same week off. So we decided to take on a huge project here at the house, and we rearranged our living room furniture and we painted our living room. So I used to work at a paint store, if you don't know. I loved that job, best job ever, especially since I'm a creative. That was like my wheelhouse. I was like, oh my gosh, every day I would go in. I was so excited to talk to people. I was so excited to hear what they were doing, what they were changing in their house, talking to them about different color palettes or, you know, color psychology. And so when I worked there, we got poinsettia red and painted our living room, which was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, especially around Christmas. it did make the room look smaller, and it made it dark too. I mean, we have a huge front view window in our living room, and then we have a window on our door and a side window, but guys, it wasn't enough. It still made the room dark. So for this new paint color, we went with electric blue, and I'm loving it. It makes the room look so much larger. It's brighter, it's comfortable, it's more comfortable than the red, believe it or not. You kind of would think that red would be kind of cozy, but with the red we did black trim, not like on our crown molding or, you know, around our windows or anything, but like around our picture frames and our bookshelves and things. And with the blue, we decided we were going to change that to white, which really makes the blue pop. And I've really been enjoying it. I'm much calmer, which I mentioned a little bit ago about color psychology. And blue does have a calming effect, whereas red is kind of like an aggressive color. It kind of like is taxing on like your adrenal glands, and it just makes you like more stressed and argumentative, which I didn't really notice that with us. I noticed like me being more stressed, but I think that was not necessarily the color, but because of what was going on, you know, with like my studies and things. But I don't know, maybe the red did contribute. The blue is amazing. I'm very happy with it. So that's what we did for our Thanksgiving. And then we were kind of late decorating for Christmas, because we usually do that the Saturday following Thanksgiving. But yeah, so we got our tree up, and then because we used blue tinsel, it's really popping with the blue paint, and it turned out really nice. I'm happy with it. And then I'm just putting the author of this quote's name down here, because I don't want to forget who wrote it. And that's because I collect quotes. So I have a journal completely dedicated to quotes, and then this way I'll have the name and I can look that person up, and then I can decide if there are other quotes that I like. Okay, so trying to speed this up a little bit so we can get some more done other than just the opening spread. Alright, so I'm going to take one of these pages that I had cut out previously, and this is 120 or 160 GSM paper, so there's not going to be bleed through. It's great for watercolors, it's great for these markers, it's great for fountain pens. I honestly haven't had anything bleed through yet, so I'm just going to use the scrap paper, and I'm going to test this to see the type of green. That one's okay. I wanted something a little bit more green though. Nope, that's blue-ish. Let's try this one. I like that one. I think I'm going to go with the first one though. I could be here all day testing markers, so I limited myself to 3. And I'm just going to use the brush for this part because I want it to look messy. I'll do a little one here. Alright, that's probably going to be the only bit of green in here, honestly. I want it to mostly be like a snowstorm. So this is just some brown. 969, and that green was 296. I don't have the entire, I think I started to say this, the entire Tombow marker set. I'm still working on that. Yeah, I'm going to test out this yellow. That's great. This is 025. Alright, and then, like I said, aside from the blue, that's probably going to be the only color that's in this. So let's get started with the snowflakes, and I have a little prompt for myself. I drew a line going this way where it's like spinning around my spread. So I'm just going to go with my blues and do some snowflakes. I'm probably not going to get too fancy with these. I know that there are a lot of designs for snowflakes. Maybe I'll do some dotted ones. And then I'll just go back and forth through the blues doing that. And I might do these as templates to snowflakes that I will decorate more later, because I think that these markers are very forgiving. So you can definitely go back in and make them more detailed, for example. Or I might just leave them like this. I don't know. So something that we're going to do tonight that I'm really looking forward to is we're going to go to the movies, which I have been wanting to see the new Hunger Games movie, like, for a very long time. Even before it was released. I knew it was coming out, and I'm like, I've got to see that. And we've decided to do that, so I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of movies coming out this winter, fall that I'm interested in. I don't know about the Marvels. I might see that. I do follow that franchise, but it's been out so long now, I might just wait. And then, of course, there's the new movie Napoleon, which it looks very interesting to me. So we might see that too. Alright, so that's enough. Well, I have one more here, so we'll just go ahead and do that. Just put a couple, maybe do smaller ones with this one. And like I said, these are just going to be basic so that it's there, and then I'll probably go in later and do more. And if I do that, I will definitely share that with you, like in tomorrow's video. I can already tell this is going to have to be a two-parter. Hopefully not a three-parter, but we'll see. So that's your opening spread. And then what I do is I'm just going to go in with an eraser. This is a mono stick, Tombow mono stick, and all of this should be dry now, so I'm just going to erase all of those little sketch prompts, like little reminders that I made for myself. And if you do this like when your ink is still fairly wet, I have a little trick for what to do, because sometimes I do sketch out my weeklies, and you'll see why here in a minute, to help you from smearing the ink. It's just a little trick. Alright, looking good. So I'll do the rest of that after I'm done filming. But I'll do this little bit here just so I can show you that trick. Okay, so set that to the side. You see how you have your little eraser marks? So what I do to get rid of those is I have this makeup brush. It's a big poofy makeup brush. I don't do makeup, guys. I couldn't tell you what this brush is. This is a great example of proof that I don't do makeup, because I don't even know what this brush is, and I'm using it for art. So anyways, you get a big poofy makeup brush and you just lightly brush away your eraser stuff. And that way you won't smear your ink. Oh, that's what I do. All right, moving on. Now we are on the music spread. This one's going to be really simple. I went ahead and I did my center lines. I'm not sure if you guys can see my pencil marks. I'll hold this up. So what I'm going to do with that is, because we did all black here, I think I'm going to take this darker blue, and with my brush tip, I'm going to do my header. And I'm trying to dot my eyes like with little snowflakes, just to make it Christmassy. So this is a good question. Will pencil erase under Tombow dual tip water brush markers? Yes, it does. That's good to know. I was freaking out for a minute. I was like, oh boy. I don't want that to be a permanent part of my spread, but I'll do all that later. Okay, so then what I do, this is really basic. I use these little stamps I got from Stationery Pal. They are music notes, and I'll test it. Okay, because sometimes they're smudgy. If you can see that, smudgy. And I'm just going to go every other line or thereabouts. And I know some people are like, wow, that's a lot of lines for music, but I listen to music all the time, every single day. Fun fact, when I graduated high school, I had a scholarship and I went to a music education program out of state, and it's always been a big part of my life since then. I obviously am not a music teacher. Ooh, that's smearing. Okay, we're gonna let that dry a little bit. But yeah, so music has always been played a very vital role in my life. Okay, so I'm done with this. What I'll probably do is decorate a little bit up here with snowflakes. I might like have them trickling down the side here, but I'm gonna do that later for the sake of time, and I will show you guys what I come up with on part 2 of this video. We're just gonna own it. We're doing a part 2. All right, so here's the start of my weeklies. And I think I'm gonna do like a tealish blue. This is 452. And these are rough circles. I'm not like too particular about them. Just doing some messy snowflake stars around part of it. And then I'm doing dots around the other. And what I'll do to highlight the day is I'll do it in black. And then I'll take another blue. I'll come off to the side here. And I think I'm going to use this Pilot G2 pen just because I love this blue. And I'm just going to write the day. On top of that line I just drew with the blue. Alright, so that's how that is. For the start, I'm actually doing different weeklies for each week, but that's how this start is going to be. And then you see here I have my little rabbit reminder sticker. I'll put that in already. So how I do my daily setups is I just take that micron pen, and then I'll do like inside a bullet box. I'll leave room for a check mark that I completed it, and I'll write whatever task. So For this one, I already did rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Alright, so other things that I want to do today obviously is my YouTube video, which I'm doing right now. So I'll just add that in. And then I'll put another box over here because I have room. I'm going to put portfolio because I am coming up on the completion of my graduate studies. So I want to make sure I do some work on that today. And then I already attended my handmade book club class this morning, which I don't think I've talked too much about that. It is a amazing book art, bookmaking community. And the lady who runs it, Allie Manning, is absolutely wonderful. I love her. If you guys want to check it out, I highly recommend. There's some videos on YouTube. They're on Facebook. It's great. Okay, I did that, and then well, obviously we're going to do date night, going to the movies I mentioned. So we'll put that on there. And then there's some other things that I want to do that I will put on there later. Some private personal stuff. Okay. So then usually when I check off too, I also use like a different color pen. So I'll just go over that with this gold Uniball Signo pen. Alright. Also, I want to put down what we're doing for dinner. I usually do that at the bottom so that I leave room for all my tasks. And for dinner, we were supposed to have salmon tonight. Salmon. Or I'm going to say takeout. Because if we're going to the movies, we're already going to be at the mall. Right there by all the restaurants. Why not? Alright, so let's get this other one started. And I'm not doing any like measurements for like when I'm starting the circle line versus when I'm starting the circle dots. I'm just eyeballing this. After doing bullet journaling for almost 1.5 years now, I've learned that I like my spreads where I don't measure everything more than I like my spreads where I like have everything exactly, you know, lined up with the dot grid. I don't know if that's true for you, but for me, it just looks more real. And I have a greater appreciation for it. Alright, so hopefully you guys can start to see how this is coming together. And I do this every month. It's relaxing. Like I said, I usually have music going on. It's very soothing to do this every month. Alright, so for this next weekly spread, I'm going to do something a little bit different with the shapes. And I think I'm going to use a combination of these two, 493 and 452, to do my outlining. This way it just breaks it up a little bit. And to make these shapes, I eyeballed the squares, and then for the circles, I actually used a ceramic dish that I made in ceramics class, that I like keep all my little paper clips and like book page markers and binder clips in, because it was like the perfect size, and I thought, why not? It's right there. All right. And I think what I'm going to do with the opening and closure dots is, instead of doing them in blue, I think I'm going to do them in black to make them pop a little bit. But yeah, it's definitely okay if you feel more comfortable doing like precisely measured out spreads. I know a lot of people do that, and if that's your thing, if that's how you want to do it, do it. It's your bullet journal after all. You know, do what feels good to you. I mean, that's how I started, because I was so afraid to mess up. Isn't that funny? You know, you start something and you have all these dreams and visions in your mind of how you want it to be, and you're just so worried to get it wrong or to make a mistake. And then after you do it, you're like, wow, there's nothing to this. What was I so worried about? Yeah, I definitely went through that phase. And then also I went through the phase where I was like, oh, this journal is so beautiful, I don't want to write in it. It's like, what's the point of buying it, Brittany, if you're not going to write in it? So feel free to tell me in the comments if you guys experience things like that too. Or am I just weird like that? I don't know. Not that it makes me weird, just, you know. All right. And usually when I'm doing this, I turn my book, but, you know, to keep it in the frame, I'm not doing that. So I'm like being a contortionist over here. So that you guys can continue to see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can. But yeah, so one of the things that I've done with my bullet journaling is I alternate. So the first half of the year I'll do like a blue or green, and then the second half I'll do the opposite. So like this one's kind of like a greenish. So for the first of the year I did a blue winter themed one from Archer and Olive is where I got that one, and I'll show you guys in my other video. I'll talk more about that. But that was one of the journals that I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, I don't want to work in it. It has like a glittery fabric cover, and then it has like a snowflake theme on it. Which reminds me, I have to date this one out, so I'll do that with you guys. I think this is probably going to be the last spread that I do with you on this video, part 1, for time's sake, because it'll take forever for me to get it processed and uploaded, and I want you guys to have it today. So but yeah, I'll show that to you in part 2. And then I'm just going to use this Pilot pen again, staying with the color theme, and I'm going to put my dates in. And you could do this way also, but I'm just going to go that way. Okay, and then I will turn it for this one just because I'm going to go with the shape here when I'm writing in the day. So yeah, maybe in part 2 I will do like a part 2 of this video. I will do a poll for you guys where you will be able to, in the comments, leave which journal you think I should use for the start of 2024. I'll show you guys some options tomorrow. Wow, that's kind of messy. I should have turned the book more. Oh well, we're going with it. Alright. Have you guys gotten any snow? Feel free to leave that in the comments too. I'm always curious who's getting snow first. We had our first snow on Halloween, which was pretty awesome. Alright, so there is my first full week of December, and what I'll probably do with these is decorate with snowflakes around each of these. I might do some like icicles, just because I believe it's my next one. Yeah, my next one is a huge snowflake up at the top, and I'm gonna make it kind of look like pixelated with ice. So I might do that around this also. And you know, before I stop today, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the days of the weeks down here so you guys can see what that looks like, because I mentioned with the grid spacing that I would show you how that comes into play. So let's go ahead and do that. I already have these marked out, and I'm not going to do a full box because I want it to look kind of messy. Like, you know how every snowflake is different and unique. No two are the same. So that's kind of what I'm going with here. I think I might use a different blue for every one too, just for that reason. Alright. And then, what else did I say I was going to talk with you guys about? 2024 I talked about. Oh, what's going on in the bindery? Okay, so well, when we rearranged the furniture in the living room, it really gave me more space to do, you know, bookbinding. Like, this is the first time I've ever filmed at my binder's table, which is amazing. I love that. The lighting is much better. It's more comfortable. I feel like I get a better camera angle. So that's a big win. And then I have gotten so much bookbinding supplies that I'm actually running out of place to store it. And that is because I closed my bindery shop. Was it this month? No, it was last month. And that's because I wasn't happy with the platform it was on, guys. I mean, it was, I had it open for, I want to say, 7 months, 8 months. And I wasn't liking the analytics. I wasn't liking the traffic tracking. I didn't like the communication offerings. I didn't really like how I could list the books that I made either. It didn't do like justice to the image of my items I was making, I don't think. And it wasn't a good experience. So I'm currently shopping around for a new platform for my bindery shop. I have a couple in mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll see. I will give you guys updates. And if I forget to give you updates, then I would just like watch my Instagram or my channel, because I'll probably include the link to the new shop in my posts, my stories, or my video descriptions. But yeah, so that was something that was really stressful at the beginning of 2023, because I was so excited to open one up. First of all, I was so happy that I had enough inventory to do so, and then to be let down and disappointed by the platform like that was just not something I had planned for. So it just kind of like threw everything off. So that's something exciting to look forward to in 2024, is my new storefront. What else with the bindery? I have started to enter art contests and exhibits with my books that I make. and I've not had one accepted for entry yet because a lot of them are juried exhibitions, but I'm pretty excited about this one that's going to be dominant for next year because I feel pretty positive about it. Like, I have good vibes that I have a good chance of getting into it. So that's going to be something brand new for me, something I'm excited for. I haven't made the book yet. I've still been gathering supplies for it. I have almost everything that I need, but it's really going to be challenging because a lot of the techniques that I'm going to be using to make the book are ones that I've never done before in any of the other books that I've already made to date. So definitely stay tuned for updates on that because that's going to be a huge growth and learning process for me. Alright, and then I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start the snowflake by putting in this border line. But I'm not going to do the snowflake because it's going to be watercolor, and I think that's how I'm going to start tomorrow's video. Alright, so this will be the last thing I do for today's video. And can you guys see the snowflake so you at least get like a little bit of a idea of what tomorrow's going to be like? Alright, so now what I was showing you before with this grid spacing guide, how I did this was before when I first started, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, every time I set up my journal, I literally had to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and it took me forever. But now that I have this, I know exactly which number block I'm on because these are all numbered, and I know how many grid blocks I can put on a page because it's already marked out. So for this one, I used the horizontal grid, and I created the vertical boxes using this spacing grid. It's in black. I tried to do color coding of these lines, so the black one is the one that I used for this spread. You can see how it lines up there. But that's what I meant about how the horizontal gives you vertical boxes, whereas the vertical gives you horizontal boxes. So if I did this way and used the black, my boxes would be here, here, and here. Alright. So I think I'm going to end there, guys. I really appreciate you watching. If you've made it to the end of this video, go ahead and put a snowman in the comments to let me know that you finished. Please leave any questions that you have about this process or anything else. And also, let's go ahead and open it up, open the comments up for any type of art supplies that you would like to see me test out and try, excuse me, in 2024. So that's all for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, which we'll record tomorrow and post tomorrow. And then I will show you how I finished decorating these also, so you'll get to see that with all the lines erased. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!